Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Hey, hi. Hi, Chumba. Hi, Jackie. Hi, everybody else who's watching. Hi. How are we? What sort of let me know what your day's been like. Have you had a good day? I hope so. Anyway, tonight we're going to talk about these new developments, hopefully, in the Suzy Lamplugh case. The thing is, sometimes in these cold cases, don't you think, like there was all this big fuss a couple of weeks ago. I did a video on the Levi Belfield. They thought there was another victim that he'd confessed to, and they were going to search an area, but we've never heard anything since then. You know, like sometimes you think, oh gosh, do they? Hi, David. Hi, Desi. You know, they give us anyway. I'm hoping that this information about Suzy Lamplugh will lead to something, because of course forensics are improving all the time, aren't they, at the end of the day? And I love it when these cold cases get solved. You know, people who must have thought they literally have got away with murder, you know, got away with it for years, and then advances in forensic science, etc., catch these people all those years later. So, I mean, the guy who's suspected of the Suzy Lamplugh murder, he's already in prison, but he's due up for parole. So it's interesting. Hi, Maltese. Hi, Desi. Oh, hi. It's nice to see you all there in chat. Anyway, first thing I'm going to do, though, is, you know, what we were talking about earlier today. Oh, gosh, I mean, we were talking about the Land Rover that crashed into the school, and I'm going to show you the press conference in case you missed it. I couldn't find it at the time. And then when it came off there, one of my subscribers had asked about who was the MP in the Nicola Bulley case. And I suddenly thought, oh, I don't know why I've never even thought who the MP was for that area. And when I saw it was Ben Wallace, you know, I am a bit of a politics junkie. I have a degree in politics. That's what I did at university. I didn't do Spanish at university. I did politics. So I'm very interested in politics. And Ben Wallace, you know, he's been so much in the news. He's such a high-profile politician, being the Secretary of Defence, and especially with the Ukraine war, etc. Oh, lots of things. I just couldn't believe it. I would never have, honest to God, if you would have said to me, right, who do you think is the MP for that area? He would not even have occurred to me. First of all, he's not from that area. You know, he's definitely not from that area. You know, he's from the south somewhere. I mean, whether he lives in that area now, probably not, because a lot of members of parliament, they're just given seats. Like he might have been given a safe seat. I don't know. I need to look into it more, because I don't know if it's a safe seat for the Conservatives. I wouldn't have thought so, but maybe. You know, why was he given that seat? Oh, do you know what, Chumba? There was a time when I quite wanted to go into politics and that, but I've got too many skeletons in my cupboard. I'd be in the Sunday papers every week. There'd be some scandal or another coming out. So I couldn't be Prime Minister, unfortunately. Having said that, that was years ago that I used to think that. Nowadays, it seems to be an asset. If you've got a scandal coming out every 5 minutes, you know, like that seems to sort of, you know, seem to get further. Hi, Pauline. Hi, Laura. So yes, so no, I'm not going to be Prime Minister, but I'll be an armchair Prime Minister. But yeah, really, honestly, I can't underestimate to you. You might think, oh, why is she so shocked, or why is she so surprised, or why is it so important? But that's like finding out that Boris Johnson is the local MP, you know, a really high-profile MP, not a backbench MP. A guy who's in the cabinet, but not only in the cabinet, in one of the most important jobs in the cabinet. And he's never said a peep. He's never said a word throughout the whole thing. even though it's in his constituency. Well, that strikes me as really quite weird, to be honest. But okay, I'm going to talk about that again on another tomorrow night when I do the Friday Night Live. That will be about the Nicola Bulley case. So I'm going to bring that up in there. I'm going to find out a little bit more about, has he actually said anything, commented on it? I mean, surely if you're the MP and something big happens in your area, so big that it attracts international attention, and he hasn't said a peep about it. Nothing. Or nothing that I've seen. I mean, so much that I didn't know that he was the MP. I mean, we know who the commissioner is. Andrew Snowden, he's another Conservative, whatever. He'll probably end up being the MP for there. I don't know what's going to happen at the next election. Yeah, anyway, I need to look into it because I need to see, is it a safe seat? Or are they going to be moving Ben Wallace? If they want him to carry on being in government, they've got to get him out of that seat, because it might be one of those red wall seats that the Conservatives won last time, but they may not win this time. So in that case, someone like Ben Wallace, they'll get him out there quick, move him to a safe seat. So I need to look into all that. Okay, so let's have a look at this press conference about the Land Rover crash and see what I don't know what the updates are, because I haven't. Does anybody know any updates of those poor children? I know one little girl died, but I don't know if any others did. But let's just see, first of all, let's see. No, not that. The news conference. Now, let me just make sure you're seeing that. Yep, you are. So this was the news conference by the police. I think it's very respectful. Just bear in mind this. I was thinking when I was watching this earlier, and I was thinking about the difference with the news conference, especially the one with Rebecca Smith, how defensive they were, how accusatory they were. This is, I know it's a whole different thing, but it's so different, the attitude of the police. But anyway, let's see.
Chair of the Board of Governors of the Study Preparatory School.
Helen Lowe, Headmistress of the Study Preparatory
Go back to the beginning. So they're all introducing themselves.
Claire Kelland, the PCU Commander for South West London.
Dr. John Martin, Chief Paramedic, London Ambulance Service.
Deputy Assistant Commissioner Andy Pennick, London Fire Brigade.
John Tucker, Chair of the Board of Governors of the Study Preparatory School.
Helen Lowe, Headmistress of the Study Preparatory School.
Sharon Mayer, Headmistress-elect.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Claire Kelland. I'm the local policing commander for South West London, and I'm here to give you an update following today's tragic accident here in Wimbledon. We were called shortly before 10 o'clock this morning after a car collided with a building at the Study Prep School behind me in Camp Road. A large number of our officers were deployed to the scene, along with paramedics from the London Air Ambulance and London Ambulance Service. Our officers, along with colleagues from other emergency services, provided first aid to a number of people who had been injured. Very sadly, one of the children, an 8-year-old girl, died at the scene. Our thoughts are with her family at this incredibly difficult time. The driver of a car, a woman aged in her 40s, stopped at the scene and has since been arrested for causing death by dangerous driving and remains in police custody. This is a very difficult time for everyone here at the school and across the wider community. We would ask people not to speculate while we work to understand the full circumstances of what has happened during this tragic incident. But I will say we are not treating this as a terrorist incident. Our officers have already spoken to a number of witnesses and have viewed the CCTV. If anyone has any information, please either call 101 or speak with officers at the scene. Any information that can assist as we try to work out what's happened today. I will now hand you to Dr. John Martin from the London Ambulance Service, who can provide more details about their response. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm John Martin, the Chief Paramedic for London Ambulance Service. Can I begin by saying, on behalf of the London Ambulance Service, that our thoughts are with all of those involved in this morning's incident. At 9:54, we received a 999 call to a collision on Camp Road in Wimbledon. We dispatched multiple resources, including specialist critical care paramedics, London's air ambulance, and 15 ambulances. We declared a major incident and stood up a specialist operations centre. We treated 16 patients on scene. Sadly, as we've heard, one 8-year-old girl died. We conveyed 10 patients to hospital. We want to thank our staff who worked hard and tirelessly whilst on scene, and also to the school staff and members of the public who helped in those early moments. Our hearts go out to all those involved in today's tragic incident. I'll now hand over to Andy from the London Fire Brigade.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Andy Pennick from the London Fire Brigade. I'm Deputy Assistant Commissioner for the South East area. I'd like to start by echoing the thoughts from John and Claire around this tragic incident, and our thoughts go out to the study preparatory school, family and friends of all those affected by today's tragic incident. London Fire Brigade crews were called to scene this morning, where they initially assisted by making emergency access for police and ambulance colleagues, and then supported London Ambulance Service paramedics in administering immediate emergency care to members of the public that were injured as part of this incident. We are now prepared and will support the study preparatory school and the wider community through our community engagement function, and we will also be supporting our staff who responded to this tragic incident. I'd like to close by thanking London Ambulance, Metropolitan Police, the local school and local community who all stepped forward to support everybody involved in today's tragic incident. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. I'll now take a couple of questions.
BBC News, so sorry for all of you for what's happened at the school today. I wondered if I could ask you just to give us a sense of sort of what was happening before the crash happened and what was the scene after, and what you need to do in terms of the investigation. And if I may, to ask you, the Chair of Governors and the head teacher, I mean, this is absolutely devastating for the school. Can you give us your thoughts as to what this tragedy means for you, the parents and the pupils? Maybe we could start with you, if that's all right, because we haven't heard from you.
You'll perhaps appreciate that the school community is profoundly affected by this tragedy, and at the moment we're really not in a position to make any further comment about it. We will be in communication with all those in the community about the further steps that we as a school will be taking.
If I can just ask about the investigation.
What happened here? Do we know how a car could plough into a school on such a quiet road? That's what everybody wants to know.
I don't think it would be appropriate for me to speculate. It's very early in the investigation, and we obviously need to kind of unpick it. There's a lot of witnesses. You can imagine that the scene was very, very crowded, very busy, very chaotic. And I don't think it would be appropriate for me to speculate. As I've said, we're not treating it as a terrorist incident, but other than that, I can't comment any further.
What can you tell us about the next stages of the investigation? I know this woman has been arrested, but what is your priority in the coming hours and days?
Well, I don't know about you, but I think, hi Phyllis, hi Heather. I might have missed people coming in, but do you not think there's something strange about this? Is it just me? I know they've said that it's not a terrorist, but I still, I don't see how that car entered into that playground, and I just don't really see how it happened. But anyway, we'll just watch the end of it. I do think they're very, you can see they're genuinely upset. I mean, it's just so completely different to the police conferences we've been looking at recently. She's very young, isn't she? I mean, that's the trouble when you get older. They always say policemen start to look younger. She seems very young, and she seemed genuinely emotional when she was talking about what had happened. But still, to me, there's something strange about this.
Well, our priority will be to identify all witnesses, to get their account of what happened, to view the CCTV. Obviously, there's a person in custody that will have to be interviewed, and from that stage onwards, we'll have to review the evidence and make a decision about what actually happened. But it's very early on.
Was this an end of term party? Are the heads able to say, was this? It looked like an end of term gathering. Is that
I think we'll leave it there. I think we've taken enough questions, but I think that's all we've
just asked on the.
Now, so I'm going to stop looking at that. Did you see she didn't even want to comment if it was an end of term party or anything like that? She didn't want to comment about anything. Yeah, I personally think it looked deliberate, but I don't know. But it just seemed. I can't see, when you look at those photos of that scene, I can't see how you would enter in there by accident. You might hit the fence, but to actually go over the fence, and you couldn't see where the fence was down. If she came in through the gate that was open, but there was no reason to come in through that gate. It's into a playground. Why would you drive your car into a playground? So, yeah, and I think the speed... said she had a medical emergency after playing golf and then driving. Yeah, maybe she was drunk. I don't know. Maybe I don't see my thing. Let me just see if I can find a photo again of it, because my thing is, how did she even get in there? It was inside. You know, I don't know. It looked strange to me. See if I can get the photos up rather than the. Yeah, let's have a look. Yeah. Can you see this now? Hang on. Yeah, have a look at this. That's all enclosed. Even if you crashed into the fence, how would you then keep going enough to go into those children? Unless, like it said, she had a medical emergency. So if she'd had a heart attack, but where did she actually come in there? Because if she came in through this open bit here, she'd have to turn around and really... No, I don't see how the car ended up there. It seems too far, doesn't it, Essex Boys Outlawed, to not to swerve. That's not... Let me see if I can make it any bigger. Not very good at that sort of thing. How do I... Let's see. See if I can do it here. Oh, there you go. Oops. No. Ah, there. So if I make... Look. So there's a little gap here. That's a gate that's cordoned off where the policeman's standing. But I don't think you could get a Land Rover through there. So she must have... This must be one of these fences around here, but we can't see it very well, can we? I literally cannot see how someone ended up inside this fenced off area. Where's the road that they've come off? Where have they come from? So anyway, that's what I would say is, I know they've ruled out a terror attack, Heather, but I think that it's very bizarre. I think even if she had a heart attack, still don't see how she got in there. I still don't see how that car entered into that little playground. There's not going to be any openings for a start. It's a children's playground, so it's going to be fenced off so the children can't get out. And if she came off the road wasn't like coming off the M4 or something at 70 miles an hour, or it was just a road, and she shouldn't have been going more than 30. So even if she came off the road, even if you said she was doing 40 miles an hour, how would she go through a fence and end up that far? And unless there was a horrible incident happened here a few years ago, not far from where I live, where an elderly lady, got her foot stuck on the accelerator. I don't know if she pressed the wrong thing or she got it stuck or whatever. She shouldn't have been driving. She was really too old to be driving. And she did kill someone by putting her foot on the accelerator instead of the brake. Like total freak. So something like that might have happened, but I still don't see how you would get inside that place. I mean, that was on a roundabout that this horrible thing happened that I'm thinking of. It was on a roundabout. The person that she killed was sort of standing near the roundabout. There was no fence. There was no, she just came off the roundabout, pressed put a foot on the wrong pedal and pressed the accelerator rather than the brake or something like that. But there was no fence. There was no. Whoever's done that, they've actually gone into that playground. I think it's very bizarre. Hi, Angela B. Yeah. Well, in Spain, it's actually against the law to wear flip-flops while you're driving, Pauline. If you get stopped by the police and you're wearing flip-flops, you'll get a fine. Yes, I remember that chumber in Glasgow when the lorry guy passed out and he killed about 7 people. But again, there was no fence, was there? There was something, you talk about this person has actually gone inside. Hi, Joe H. This person has actually gone inside a play, and anyway, I suppose we'll find out sooner or later what happened. But to me, it seems very strange. Yeah, Chumba, that was a horror. That was an awful incident. Accidents happen. At the end of the day, accidents happen. But when you look at the scene, the first thing I thought when I looked at the scene there, I thought, how has she even got in there? And to me, I feel that it was deliberate, because I can't, unless, obviously something's going to come up. But and also notice that police lady, she didn't want to talk about it at all. She didn't even want to talk about, when we were asking they were asking, was it an end of term party or what? She didn't want to talk about any of it, which is fair enough, and I'm glad she did that. But yeah, another one in Glasgow. What's going on in Glasgow? A similar car that was a heart attack. Well, accidents happen. People have heart attacks at the wheel, or they have epileptic fits, or they have a stroke, or whatever. Things happen, or they just look down for a moment. But I still think there's something strange about that. But we'll see. We'll find out, won't we? Anyway, so I just wanted to show you that. So, and we've talked about the MP for St Michael's somewhere. I still can't believe it's Ben Wallace, but I'm going to talk about that more tomorrow. And tomorrow, in the live tomorrow night, I'm also going to be talking about the forensic pathologist and some things that I found out about her. Gosh, Pauline. Sorry to hear that. Okay, so we're going to look at these latest things, or the latest news, if you like, about Suzy Lamplugh. Now, do you all know about the case of Suzy Lamplugh? Let me just get rid of some of the things I don't need to look at now, so I've got less things. Hang on. Sorry. Okay, so let's have a little recap about the disappearance of Suzy Lamplugh. Now, I've got a photo of her somewhere that I'm going to put up while I'm going to put a photo of her up while I'm talking about her. So for those of you who don't know what she looks like, sorry, just take me a minute, as it always does. Right. No. Gosh, always takes me forever. Got to put the picture up, haven't I? Yes, of course I have. Share. There she is. Right, finally. Okay, so this is Suzy. Suzy was, well, let me read out to you what happened with Suzy. So Suzy was born on the 3rd of May in 1961. So she now would be 62, bless her, if she'd have, well, I'll say, I don't like to say that people are dead when they're missing, but she has been declared dead. So she was an estate agent, and she went missing on the 28th of July 1986, and she was 25 years old. And this was in Fulham, in London, in the United Kingdom. For those of you that are not from the UK, you might not have heard about this case. It's one of the longest running active missing persons cases, because as we all know, there's so many missing persons. It's actually mind-boggling when you think about it. But Suzy's case is still active, but she has been declared dead, so it's now a murder case. And although it's a cold case, it is still active. That's probably to do with her family keeping at the end of the day, you have to keep these cases alive, because as we know, the police, well, to be fair, they've got so many cases to deal with. So, if your loved one goes missing, really, sometimes it's you that has to keep it alive by setting up, websites and appealing to the public, etc., because the police just won't go so far with it. But if you keep bugging them about it, they will keep looking at it. Anyway, she had an appointment to show a house to someone that she called Mr. Kipper. That's what she had written in her diary. And this case has never been solved. She disappeared. Now, there is a man called John Cannan, and he has been already convicted for the murder of Shirley Banks in 1987, and also many other rapes and abductions, etc. Since his release from a nearby prison 3 days before her disappearance, he is the only suspect at the moment in the murder of Lamplugh. I think really the police more or less think it's definitely was him. But they've never had enough evidence. Remember, evidence, they've not had enough evidence to charge him. But they have announced at a press conference that their belief is that he did murder her. Now, the thing about him is that he claims to have known who did it. And hey, he's hey, Rocky, come here. He's also claiming that he knows who did it, and not only that they did that, but they actually killed Shirley Banks as well, who he's been in prison for all this time. So basically, what he's saying is he knows who did it, and that person was always also responsible for the person that he's supposed to have killed, Shirley Banks. But he is known to have appeared uninvited at a house that was for sale in that same road in the days before he disappeared, because he thought that the young female occupant was alone in the house, and he acted strangely until the woman's husband appeared, which caused him to leave. And there has also been DNA evidence that showed that Suzy Lamplugh, I hate it, I'm reading this off the I hate it. Why did they say Lamplugh? Her name is Suzy Lamplugh had previously been in a car that he owned at the time of the disappearance. So let's have a look at. He's an interesting character because, you know, not in a good way. Let me see if I can find a photo of him. Which is quite a handsome man. I think he reminds me of sort of Ted Bundy. I mean, he's obviously a psychopath, but he's one of those charming ones, or he was. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't look like this now. Let's see if we've got this. No, let me change the. I want to change it now to just show you a photo of him. Yeah, so, you know, when he was young, he was relatively good looking. There's this really sort of terrifying, I found it terrifying anyway, video of him when he applied to go on a dating site, and he made a video. I wonder if I can find the video for us to watch. Let's see. John Cannan video. He made a video for this dating site where he was really trying to be really charming. Oh,
6 weeks before his arrest, John Cannan made this video for a dating agency in Bristol. It was a controlled, confident performance.
I think a ruff would suit me. Tights and a sword. I can see me on some bridge or some galleon, being a pirate. Yes, I can handle that. Yes, I have a dislike of inflated egos. People who are, they look at me, I'm great type. I don't like that. I can't handle that sort of inner weakness.
The kind of pretentious.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. I just like just normal, average people.
What do you look for in a person of your opposite sex when you first meet? What would attract you?
Well, I think apart from the physical side, again, I think somebody who's pleasant, who's natural, who's relaxed, somebody who's calm, just pleasant,
You're
just
not worried
something
if
nice.
they're career orientated?
No. No. Well, as somebody who's career oriented myself, I couldn't blame them for that.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Now, do you admire any famous people past your present?
Yes, I've admired a few. People like Gandhi, philosophers like Bertrand Russell, present day people like Prince Charles, who's socially aware.
So what was Cannan looking for?
Physically, somebody like Stephanie Beecham.
Who's that?
No, it's actually, she's, I think she's in Dallas, Falcon Crest or something. But no, joking apart. Somebody natural, nice, pleasant, somebody with character, little personality.
Practical?
Practical, yes. Somebody, just somebody normal. Somebody who's easy.
Somebody normal.
Now, what about TV comedy programs? Is there anything that you like in that vein?
I'm a little bit dry as regards humour. Dave Allen. Benny Hill is okay. Maybe that's a bit slapstick. That's a bit slapstick, I know, but yeah, Benny Hill's okay. Or he used to be. Not so good nowadays, but he used to be. Yeah, that type of mainly dry humour.
Now, do you have any ambitions for the future, or do you feel that you've achieved your ambitions already?
I've achieved them.
Right.
Basic, financially, I've achieved them.
So you're just going to cut and keel over, are you?
No, not at all. I'm just looking now. I'm in a sedimentary period where financially and career-wise I've achieved what I've wanted to achieve.
Yeah.
I'm just now looking for what's the next thing to achieve.
Well, What did you think about that? You know, well, apparently the lady that was doing, so that was like an interview that he was doing to go on like a date, you know, it wasn't, you know, didn't have Tinder then and the dating sites on the internet. So what the people would do is go and join a dating agency, make a video to present to the ladies that were looking, you know, and that lady that was interviewing him would try and match up you know, suitable people with each other. But she actually declined him. She felt that creeped out by him. Because do you see how he was like trying to be, he was trying to be posh, wasn't he? He was trying to use big words and say how intelligent he was. And he admired Bertrand Russell and Gandhi and Prince Charles. I mean, it's not exactly a glowing endearment of Prince Charles, is it? You know, so he was trying to make himself, and he's achieved everything he wants to in life, and now he's looking for this Stephanie Beacham. I don't know if any of you remember Stephanie Beacham, very beautiful actress. Don't know if she's still with us or not, but she was in a lot of things once. She's a very famous English actress, Stephanie Beacham. Well, I say English because she was on Dynasty, wasn't she? So even if you're from America or over the pond, as they say, you'd know Stephanie Beacham because she was in Dynasty as well, in the series Dynasty. She was on the Celebrity Big Brother, wasn't she, with Ivana Trump, etc. So anyway, so that's him. That's this Cannan guy. Cannan guy. And he is in prison. I mean, I tell you, it's really quite terrifying because he raped a woman in Reading in Berkshire in he's committed many violations of women. He's only actually been charged with the one murder, which is Shirley Banks. There's no way that he's only committed one murder. Again, I think he's one of these, you know, just because that was when he's been prosecuted for one murder. People like that, they don't just commit one murder, I don't think. Anyway, he's the suspect. But the thing, what the police are really gearing up to now is, because he was given life imprisonment for murdering Shirley, and also for these various rapes and things that he did when he was on probation. I mean, but he has now done his minimum 35 years. He was given 35 years minimum. He's at His Majesty's prison. He has done his 35 years, so he will be coming up for parole. So I think that's what's giving the police this sort of race against time on him, you know, because they don't want him getting parole. Okay, so I think that's got a lot to do with it. So let me tell you what's going on. So what's going on, which hopefully will lead to something. All I know so far is that they have launched a forensic review. That's what they're calling it. Detectives investigating Suzy Lamplug's disappearance have launched a forensic review in the hope that new technology will crack the case after 37 years. 37 years, goodness me. Hairs, fibres and body tissue samples found in the estate agent's abandoned car are believed to be the focus of the new scientific probe. And former detective Jim Dickey told the Mirror, this is the Daily Mirror that I'm reading this from, that mystery DNA recovered from the white Ford Fiesta could belong to her killer. Oh, I really hope they've got to a point, you know, where they can see that. He said that a tiny sample was taken from a smudged fingerprint on the rear view mirror. Forensics scientists were unable to extract a profile from it in 2000. So that's when they last tried to extract a DNA profile, and the technology wasn't there then. And that's when Mr. Dickey was leading the investigation. But it's hopeful that it might be able to be done now. I mean, the thing is, let's have a look at this actually, because this was I'm going to show you the photo fit at the time. So this is him, and this was the photo fit at the time. And the key thing, of course, are his eyebrows. He's got very distinctive eyebrows, hasn't he? You know, so this was the photo fit that was issued at the time. Anyway, the ex-Met detective superintendent said, I'm unaware if the DNA sample from the fingerprint has been progressed and whether there is sufficient to test it without destroying it. But my advice from the experts was that scientific advances may improve sometime in the future and DNA science may develop to enable testing without destroying it. So a current Scotland Yard spokesman refused to discuss which materials were being examined, which is fair enough because someone who's actually still working there and on the case, they can't comment on the actual ongoing case, can they? The guy that was the guy in charge before, he can comment on it. You know, ex-detectives can comment, but in a current trial, they can't. Now, there was some, I wonder if there's a picture of him somewhere, how he is now. Because obviously he's been in prison for 35 years. So I expect he's not as... I believe he's been ill. I don't know if that's true or not, but let's see if we can see any photos of him. Is it? Oh, that's not him. That's not him. I don't know. I don't know what he looks like now. This was a little bit later. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there's a really current photo of him. Let's see if I can see it on here. Oh, gosh, I've just got to look at this photo. Can you see this? Just look at his smile there. It's absolutely chilling, isn't it? You know, he's just like, look. I mean, he's really quite terrifying, I think. He's ill, isn't he, Pauline? I think I've read that somewhere. Let's see if I can find out. Doesn't he have cancer? John Cannan illness, let's see. Ah, yeah. So this was on May the 13th. The Daily Mirror newspaper said that Cannan was receiving end-of-life palliative care and had been in poor health for several years and suffering partial paralysis and needing a wheelchair after a stroke. Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? Oh, it's saying he's on his deathbed. I don't know if he's on his deathbed or not. But he's making a bid for freedom. This is the thing. He's served his 35 years. This is why the police will be really keen to try and, you know, get the evidence together because they will want... they won't want him to get out, and he's going to try and get out, and he'll use his illness, won't he? As he's done his 35 years minimum sentence, he'll use his illness as a reason that he should be given parole. And I think that's why the police, you know, are really keen to try and sort of test whatever they can and keep him in prison, because he don't... I mean, maybe he wouldn't be a threat to society now, but why should he come out, you know? So why should he? Hi, Sarah. Yeah, at least he can't harm anyone anymore. I don't think he'll come out. I'd be very surprised if he gets out, even if they don't manage to confirm this evidence. Surely, you know, because, you know, not only the murder that he has been convicted of, but there was a lot of assaults and things like that. It wasn't just that. Yeah, but exactly the point is, Pauline, what he should do if he wants to save his soul in the next life, he can't. Nobody can bring Susie back, but her family will still be wanting to know what happened to her. Where is she? You know, like bring something back, maybe to bury at least, or to have some sort of memorial. So if he's got anything about him, anything at all, if he's got any fear for his soul, because I do believe in these things. People think they get away with things, but apart from karma, which I think you get karma in this life, but you've always got to face the next life, you know, and whether you believe in it or you don't believe in it, I bet they're all, they might say they don't believe in it, but I bet they're all a little bit terrified when they know they're crossing over, because they know they're going to have to face whatever. So, oh, that's right, Sarah. That was one of the suspicious things, wasn't it? He had a personalised number plate, which was LMP, that people thought referred to. Pauline, I remember you saying about that ages ago when I mentioned this on a video. I mean, really quite a lot of months ago. But yeah, let's hope. Let's hope that he does the right thing. At least, you know, lets people know what happened and admits to it. At the end of the day, he's got nothing to lose. I suppose if he thinks what does he think he's going to come out of prison and do? You know, why? No, to be honest, surely be better off in prison. He's being looked after better, probably there. He's probably getting better medical care than anyone will be getting outside prison. That's why these prisoners live so long. They get the best medical care because there's a duty of care from the state to look after them. But you can be outside prison, never done anything wrong in your life. You can't get an ambulance, or you can't get treatment, or you can't get fucking doctor's appointment. But if you're in prison, because he doesn't have to worry about he doesn't have to worry about what's the word? He doesn't have to worry about his care, his health care. It's there for him. They have a duty of care to look after him. And when he comes out, Pauline maybe should get back in touch with the police now. Maybe you should get back in touch with the police now that they're hi, Heather. Yeah. Well, so that is it. So that is what, hopefully, we've got some new evidence coming out for Susie, and hopefully this case that's been going on for so long will finally be solved. He did say that he'd buried her in Norton Barrett. Do you want to end up in Norton Barracks like Susie? And then later he said that he was joking. Yeah. See, Pauline, you need to go to the police with that. Honestly, you do. No, Susie's never been found, Essex Boys Outlaw. There have been searches of Norton Barracks. There was a general. I don't know if a body will ever be found. Not unless he actually says. Not unless he actually admits that he did it and he says where the body was. Yeah, but you know, I think you have to think of the family, don't you? The family need answers. You know, the family need answers. So to me, that's more important, I'm sorry, than the pond. It's only a pond. Anyway, so there you go. That's the story of Suzy Lamplugh, and that's the prospect, hopefully, that some sort of new forensic, as long as that guy just doesn't get out, but hopefully he will actually admit what he did and give her family some peace. You know, her family needs peace. That'd be the, imagine if it was your family, if it was your daughter, if it was your child. Yeah, there is family left, I think. I wouldn't imagine. Let's have a look. Because I wouldn't imagine that mum and dad are still alive. But I don't know. You know, people live a long time these days. Yeah, she would have been 60. Let's see. I think she had siblings anyway. Yeah, so her parents have passed. Her mum, Diana, died in 2011, and Paul, her father, I think, died in 2018. But they set up the Suzy Lamplugh, Lamplugh Foundation. But yeah, no, she's got 3 siblings, Richard, Tamsin and Lizzie, and they deserve to know what happened to their sibling, to their sister, don't they? Okay, I need to find something funny now to cheer everybody up, I think. Let's see if I can find something funny. Because everything's always depressing, isn't it? But never mind. Let's... You know, I don't know if I'm even allowed to show these days. Right, we're going to have a little look at Little Britain to cheer us up before we go. So remember, tomorrow in the... yeah, Jackie, right, it's his last bit of control. It's all he's got. It's all he's got, but, you know, hopefully we'll... hopefully, let's see, when maybe if he realises he's backed into a corner. Let's have a look at Little Britain.
Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 painfully funny Little Britain sketches.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel. And
Vicky Pollard, she gets more as Vicky goes on one of her usual rants. After what feels like an eternity, we get
too much talking. She's talking through it too much. Anyway, I'll have to look for some proper videos of Little Britain for next time when we're on to make us laugh. Yes, Heather, they're Manchester bees behind me. That is, my friend sent me that cushion. I have a tattoo on my arm as well of the bees. And I have bees on a mural upstairs that are painted on my roof terrace. Okay, so now I'm going. Now, that's the information. So remember, we've got Ben Wallace being the Member of Parliament for St Michael's on Wear. I still can't quite get over that. I don't know why I never even thought to look to see who the MP was. But I tell you what, you could have, I could have taken a million bets. I would never have thought it was him. Don't know why, you know, probably because he's not even from that area. We've looked at the video of the Land Rover crashing into those poor children in Wimbledon, and I think there's something a lot more to come from that. I honestly just cannot see how that was an accident, but could be wrong, you know. And then we've looked at hopefully some developments now, the forensics, maybe hopefully advanced enough to finally resolve who actually murdered Susie Lamplugh. And tomorrow night on the live, I'll be looking at the forensic pathologist from Nicola's case and any other little bits of things that have come up. You know, quite often there's little bits of things that come up, but I don't like just going on talking about Nicola all the time. You know, if I've got like enough to actually put together a live and things that I think you'll be interested in. I also don't like repeating all the rubbish off Facebook, etc., which unfortunately is still going on, and it drives me absolutely bonkers because we've got to be careful just to stick, even if we don't know, we've got to stick with what we do know And there's lots of things we don't know, but I'm not saying we can't talk about that, but we're just saying what we don't know. You know, we can't talk about things that we don't know as if they were true, because until we know the true, that is the wrong sort of speculation. But we can't help but speculate a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so yes, please hit the like. Please like on the way out. I didn't do my housekeeping again. I totally forgot. I always say I'm going to do it and then I forget. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world, is it? Please like. I couldn't even put please and like together. So I'll see you tomorrow. And until then, remember to always live and love very carefully. Look after you, because you are the most important person. If you don't look after yourself, you can't look after anybody else. And until I see you again, may your God go with you. Thank you so much. There's been a lot of you here tonight. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Adios. Bye, Tina. Bye, Persephone. Bye, Desi. Bye, Pauline. Bye, Jackie. Bye, Chumba. See you tomorrow. Thank you. I really appreciate it more than you even know. Just being here with me, it's brilliant. Thank you.